Hey, it's Dr. Schmidt at the Nutritional Healing Center of Ann Arbor. And this video is about one datum that I've heard twice now on various vegan YouTube science writers. And I heard it the one time and I forgot about it because I didn't think anybody else would say that kind of thing. Then I heard it a second time and now I have to say something about it. When you learn this, you can understand how you can manipulate data and make it work in your favor if you have a narrative. So I'm going to go over this with you. It's related to the nutrient called choline. So I've been using choline as a nutritional supplement for my whole career. And what it does is it flushes fat out of the liver. It'll digest fat out of not just the liver, but other parts of the body. And what happens is within a week, people have this I call it a life-changing bowel movement. And they feel better. I've had people call me and they say, "Oh my God, you won't believe what happened." And their eyes get really bright white. And it's really, really cool. Now, it's not supposed to be taken for a long period of time. Like, I think 6 months is too long. Maybe 3 months is enough. But a lot of the effect happens within the first week. And it doesn't happen like that with everybody, but I've seen it happen enough that I'm definitely love choline, and it's a very useful tool to help flush the liver and get rid of what's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is caused by the consumption of too many carbohydrates. Okay, and ketosis takes care of that too, the liver disease. All right, so I have this metabolic pathways poster here. So I'm going to be looking down at the poster on my screen, and I've used this in other videos where I talk about what's happening biochemically in the body. You look at all that stuff, and there's like over 550 pathways there. And this is normal physiology right here. So let's zoom in. And choline shows up in two different locations in here. So I got the cursor right here on this one. And we'll talk about the other one soon next. So first thing I want to point out here is that there's double arrows. So you can see right above choline, there's a double arrow. And that means that if there's too much choline, it can convert into betaine aldehyde, which can convert to betaine, which can convert to folic acid. See, there's double arrows like everywhere. It can go all the way up to here to glycine, and then back over to sarcosine and back into folic acid. So if there's too much choline or too much betaine, the body will just convert it back into something else, and then there's no toxicity. So it's not a big deal if you take in a lot of choline at all, because the body will use it. Maybe it'll convert it to folic acid, which is, as you know, is another really important nutrient. So let's go down now. I'm going to draw a line here. So we got this arrow, and it goes into this long arrow down. So let's just trace this down. Now this arrow goes to the right. If you were traveling on a road from above, we're looking down. And so let's follow it. It goes this way. And it goes into this blue box, which is ketone bodies. So choline is essential for creating ketones. And we all know how important ketosis is. It's a phenomenal, unique state of metabolism in which all the cells are burning fat. I mean, that's really important for health. And they can take this curvy arrow this way, and they become this, and then they become acetyl-CoA right here. Right here, I'm circling it right there. That's the money. I call that the money. That's where the beginning of energy production starts. So let's go back along this path in choline. And instead of turning right, we're going to go straight down. And we're going to find out where this ends up. So are you having fun yet? So here we're crossing the mitochondrial membrane. This blue and this green. Now we're inside the mitochondria. That's where the energy is formed. And it's the yellow part of this poster. And we're tracing it down, and then it turns right, and it goes right here into fumarate. So what the heck does that mean? Well, I'm going to back up a little bit. We're going to look at a bigger viewpoint. And I just want you to see that fumarate is part of this Krebs cycle. Now, you may have learned about the Krebs cycle in grade school or high school if you went that route into the sciences. But this is like the engine of energy production right here. And then the drive shaft is this thing. There's actually four of them, these white, 1, 2, 3, 4, these white boxes. And then the drive shaft spins the wheels. And that's this. This actually spins. And that's called ATP synthase. And it makes ATP, which is the fuel for the body, the ATP, leaves the ATP synthase and goes outside of the mitochondria into this pink part that's the cytoplasm within the cell. So I've done other videos on this, but the point here is that choline is vital for this. Now it shows up in a different location right here. So it's that important that it shows up more than once. So here's choline, and here's another one of those wonderful magic double arrows, and it can become acetylcholine. And what is acetylcholine? It's a neurotransmitter. What does that mean? That's a chemical that turns on nerves, and the acetylcholine nerves that are affected actually turn on muscles. So in order for your muscles to move, you have to have acetylcholine. So now the choline double arrow to this, choline P to CDP choline to lecithin, which is phosphatidylcholine. These are all nutrients. These are all important for the health of our cell walls and every organ that's made out of fat. So now I'm backing up here. We're looking at the bigger picture. So what I just did is I talked about this whole area right here. And that's in this area called phospholipids. So lipid means fats. And if you come up a little bit more, this is lipid degradation. And we're talking about this area to the right of it, this yellow arm in the mitochondria. That's where all these fats are broken down and they become acetyl-CoA. And then you get fat metabolism, you get metabolism, you get energy production from acetyl-CoA. But the question is, do you get it from pyruvate, which is from sugar, and you get all these waste products, which I've talked about, is acetate, ethanol, acetaldehyde, and then here's lactate. You don't want to get into lactic acid fermentation. That's very dangerous. But you can avoid all that by avoiding sugar and getting into ketosis. Here's the lipid degradation arm of the mitochondria. So there you go. The whole point here is that choline is an essential nutrient. You got to have it. And when somebody says that a single nutrient is bad because it may become something, which may be contributing to a disease, you got to think, wow, that sounds really iffy. And it seems like they're trying to predict the future. It sounds like a news broadcaster saying this may happen and things will be really bad. Well, when you know the science behind these nutrients, you can see that you can take a ton of choline and it's only going to help you. And so one other aspect here, one other point I want to make is that if you go back and look at the 80s, everybody thought cholesterol was the thing that was causing heart disease, and it was the thing. So people were just scared about the word cholesterol. But then later it was triglycerides, and then it was LDL. Now it's small particles LDL. And don't forget about homocysteine, and don't forget about lipoprotein A. So as the years have gone on, it turns out that there's all these factors that increase when you get more and more heart disease. And it's true for any disease. You're going to have a buildup of negative factors in the blood work and then you change your lifestyle to lower all those factors. It's never just one factor. And I want to say this is the last thing, I promise, then we'll stop. But the last thing is that in medicine and in pathology, they're looking for disease in the body. They're looking for disease in the cells. And that's actually not the right place to look. The correct place to look is at the end of your fork or your spoon. That's where disease is. You can see the foods that are altered or adulterated, the processed foods and the junk foods and the GMOs and the foods with the chemicals in it. That's where the disease starts. It doesn't start anywhere else other than at the end of your fork or your spoon. All right. And then I just want to say, some people think I look like Christopher Reeve. I don't know why they would say that, but okay. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Thanks.